मज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वतदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरकृष्णे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So yesterday we discussed from verse number 23 of chapter 2nd. So in this verse Krishna is explaining Nainam Chindanti Sasrani Nainam Dahati Pavaka Nachayenam Kletyanto Apona Soshyati Maruta. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burnt by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered uh, by the wind. This is the characteristics of the soul, that it cannot be affected. There, no changes can be made in the soul, constituents of the soul, these material elements. This particular verse, verse number 23, explains that no material elements or no material conditionings, situations uh, can change the eternal soul. The soul remains as it. In this verse, this is explained. In the next verse, which we'll discuss probably tomorrow, in the next verse, Krishna explains not only that material situations, conditionings, and material things, elements can have an impact upon the soul, but even spiritually also, there can never be any conditioning by which the soul can get changed. Soul remains as it is. Achedvayam adahyoyam akledvasoseva nitya sarvagata Ashloyam sanat. That we'll discuss tomorrow in more detail. So yesterday we discussed that the soul cannot be cut into pieces. That means this Mayavad philosophy misconception that soul can we can get merged into the body of the supreme soul. That is a great misconception. That is not possible because that is against the principle of this Nainam Chindanti Sastrani. The soul cannot be cut into pieces. Second, Nayanam Dahati Pavaka. We discussed that Pavaka means fire. Fire cannot burn the soul. That means the soul can even exist with a suitable body even within the fire. That's why the sun planet, Vedic literatures explain that there is life even on the sun planet, which is fire exactly. So we discussed that we are living in this earth planet, so we have earthly body. And similarly, those who have fiery body, they can reside on the sun planet. So the living entities who are residing on the sun planet, they also have material bodies, but their body has fiery content, fiery body. That means fire content is more. So that's why for them that is favorable situation. Just like even if you consider the case in different countries or different locations on this planet Earth, so you find different places have different kinds of living conditions. Those who are American, Australian, Japanese, Chinese, Africans, they have different kinds of bodies, which is suitable for them to stay at that those particular circumstances. If we go then suppose countries like America, Japan, Russia, so it will be difficult for us to manage to live there. We will require certain kind of conditioning to be able to live there properly in a proper manner, as we can very comfortably live in India, because our body we have got this body, this particular kind of body, Indian body, according to this Indian atmosphere. So similarly, like this, we can conclude on different planets also there are different living conditions, and accordingly, different bodies have been awarded to those kinds of living entities. So, but the point is here that the soul cannot be burned. Uh, so that proves that soul can reside anywhere with a suitable body. The third is na chainam kledyantva. Water cannot moist. That's why within the water also living entities can exist. And that's Sosyati Maruta. The air cannot dry it up. That's why there are living entities who are within the air. So Sarvagata, that will come in upcoming verses. Krishna says, this Nitya Ata Chainam Nitya Jatam Sarvagata. This is one of the qualities. Krishna explains somewhere in Bhagavad Gita. Sarvagata. Sarvagata means the soul can exist in all situations. Sarvagata. Sarvagata. Bhagavad Gita. That is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. Text 24. Oh, it's next verse. Verse. Next verse. 24. Yes, yes, yes. Share. Achedvayam adahyoyam akledvaso sevacha nitya sarvagata sthanu rachloyam sanatana. Sarvagata. The Krishna says, Sarvagata means all pervading. That means the soul living entities can be found in all circumstances. Even within the earth, there are living entities. Even within stone also, there are living entities. Some kind of insects live within a stone. And sometimes we see even from this stone, sometimes some kind of creeper and plants, they grow up. That means even within the stone also living entities can reside. So it's it's a misconception of those scientists who say that only on earthly planet there are living symptoms, favorable living conditions. That's why only on Earth planet living cities are found. All other planets, there is no living condition. But it's not true. In all the planets, there are living cities, but their living conditions, according to their different living conditions, they have different material bodies to reside there. That's why if somebody is interested to go to some other planet, then with this material body he cannot go. He has to change the material body. That is the process. That is what is mentioned in Vedic literatures. There are karma kandi yajnas are there. If one performs, suppose if somebody who is interested to go to moon planet, just like from last almost more than 50 years, and even before that, more than 70, 80 years, the scientists have been trying very hard to go to moon planet, but not yet they have become successful. They have not become successful even till now. Why? Because with this material body, we cannot actually go there. Here, the living condition on moon planet is different. So we'll require different material body for that purpose. So that is mentioned in Vedic literature. If somebody is interested to go to Chandralok, so Chandralok, so he has to perform some kind of yajnas in order to acquire some credit, pious credit. Just like if you want to go to America, so you will require to apply it, and you will have to have some kind of background. Certain you will need to fulfill certain kind of qualification. Then only you will get visa and passport, so that you can enter into American land. You can go to America. Not everyone gets the visa and passport to go to America. Similarly, even on this planet, if we want to go to some different countries, we require some qualification. We require visa and passport. So how we can think that with our mechanical arrangement, we can go to any planet? That's not possible. Especially moon planet is amongst heavenly planets. It's a heavenly planets, and their demigods they live there who are far more intelligent than us, far more powerful than us. So they can cheat us very easily. As such, Prabhupada said, those who claim that they have gone to moon planet, actually they have not gone to moon planet. Either it's just simply a cheating, or they have landed upon some other useless planet, misdirected by the demigods residing on the moon planet. The scientists are misdirected. So that's Prabhupada mentioned, because that's not possible. One has to follow the proper authorized means of following the yajna process of Vedic literature, then one can go. But the devotees, they are not interested even in going to, what to speak of moon planet, heavenly planets, Indra Loka, or not even Surya Loka, sun planet. The devotees are not interested even in going to Brahma Loka. Devotees are interested going to the Vaikuntha Lokas, eternal abodes of the Supreme Lord, where the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself lives. That their devotees wants to go. Because that is eternal planet, that is never destroyed. And once going there, yat gatvan nivartante tadham paramam gata. Once going there, one never returns back to this material world. There is no more death, no more birth and death. One becomes free from the cycle of birth and death. Whereas, even if you go to Brahmalok, what to speak of moon planet, even if somebody goes to Brahmal planet, still he will have to take birth again, he will have to die. That Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita. Brahma bhuvana loka punaravartinu. Even, O Arjuna, even if you go to Brahmaloka, the abode of Lord Brahma, still you will have to punaravarti. You will have to take, you will have to die, you will have to accept death, and you will have to take birth again. So what is the use? Those who are interested, they do not unnecessarily endeavor so much in going here and there, where the same things are there, and there's miseries, birth, death, old age, and disease. The devotees are more interested in going to Vaikuntha planets, where they can personally associate with the Supreme Lord, and the suitable body they get, that is spiritual body, not material body. No material elements, earth, water, fire, everything, no material. Complete Sachidananda Vigraha, Sat Chit Ananda. Those who go to Vaikuntha planet, or known as the spiritual world, the spiritual planets, where the Supreme Lord resides with his unlimited associates, devotees. So those who achieve those planets, Vaikuntha planet, and which is actually the ultimate goal of all the demigods, all the yogis, rishis, jnanis, tapasvis. They are looking after that goal. Huh? Pashyanti yam yogina dhyanavastita tadgatena manasa pashyanti yam yogina. That is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Dhyanavastita tadgatena. Those who are yogis, great yogis, who perform meditation for thousands and thousands of years, their goal, ultimate goal is tadgatena. That is, tad refers to Vaikuntha planet. That is their goal. No material goal. No Brahmaloka, Moonloka, Sunloka, no planet. What to speak of earthly planet. Their goal is ultimate. Vaikuntha, tadgatena manasa. Pashyantiyam yoginaha. Yoginaha means devoted. Sada Pashyanti Surya. Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. Vishnu Paramam Padam. Vishnu Paramam Padam means supreme Padam, abode. Supreme abode of Lord Vishnu, Vaikuntha planet. Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada, always. Pashyanti Yamayo, Sada Pashyanti Surya, Divi Vichakshur Atatam. Jagram sa samindate, Divi Vichakshur Atatam, Jagram sa samindate, Vishnu Yat Paramam Padam. That is explained in Rig Veda. This is a Rig Veda mantra. So, Surya means this Sura. Surya means demigods. Sada Pashanti Surya. The demigods, they always have fixed goal. They want to go to Vaikuntha planets. But without devotional service, one cannot go. So, that is what is the ultimate goal. To go to back home, back to Godhead, Vaikuntha planets, from where we need not to return again. Anyway, so we are discussing that the living entities can go in any planet they desire. In fact, the yogis, when they are perfected in yoga siddhis, then according to their desire, they can move themselves. Leaving this body, they can go to any other planet. But the best yogi is one who has complete knowledge that all the material planets are actually useless. So the best yogis, who are known as devotees, they only aspire to go to Vaikuntha planet. In the purport, Sri Prabhupada is writing, all kinds of weapons swords, flame weapons, rain weapons, tornado weapons, etc., are unable to kill the spirit soul. It appears that there were many kinds of weapons made of earth, water, air, ether, etc., in addition to the modern weapons of fire. In modern days, modern people, they only have weapons made of fire. But in Vedic time, people also have weapons made of water, air weapon, watery weapon, air weapon, weapons made of ether, means sound, and earthly weapons. So that is the earlier Vedic technology was so advanced. Now we have only weapons made of fire. Fire means this, all these guns and bombs. Uh, and they are made of fiery weapon. So even nuclear weapons of the modern age are classified as fire weapons. But formerly there were other weapons made of all different types of material elements. Just like when there was battle in the battlefield, when somebody used to throw fire weapons, then in order to counteract that fire weapon, other party, if they are expert, they can release water weapon, and in this way they can counteract each other. So that was the method. But nowadays, one cannot counteract the weapons. Once released, it is going to destroy everything because there is no water weapon. Suppose nuclear weapons are released or some kind of bombs are released. So, because there are no alternative like water weapon, so one has to face the subsequent consequences of those fire weapons. That means destruction. But earlier, when this Ashwathama, he released a nuclear weapon known as Brahmastra. Brahmastra is actually more powerful than nuclear weapon. So when he released Brahmastra, so all over the universe, uh, it is all the universe was surrounded by fire. So much heat was there. So Krishna immediately ordered Arjuna that you counteract it with your water weapon. So Arjuna immediately released his water weapon. So all over the universe, this fiery weapon, Brahmastra, nuclear weapon, it was counteracted immediately, and no harmful effect was there. So fire weapons were counteracted by water weapons, which are now unknown to modern science. Nor do modern scientists have knowledge of tornado weapons. Nonetheless, the soul can never be cut into pieces nor annihilated by any number of weapons, regardless of scientific devices. So earlier, this fire, water, all kinds of weapons were there. But even in those conditions, this soul was completely unaffected. So the Mayavadi cannot explain how the individual soul came into existence simply by ignorance and consequently became covered by the illusory energy. Nor was it ever possible to cut the individual souls from the original supreme soul. Rather, the individual souls are eternally separated parts of the supreme soul. Because they are atomic individual souls eternally, Sanatan, they are prone to be covered by the illusory energy. And thus they become separated from the association of the Supreme Lord, just as the sparks of a fire, although one in quality with the fire, are prone to be extinguished when out of the fire. So this we have already discussed, that individual soul always remains individual soul because it cannot be cut into pieces. So this is a false misconception of Mayavadis who say that individual soul can merge or can be cut into pieces. Another point is individual soul is very minute. So being very minute, it has the tendency to fall or go away from the supreme spiritual soul, and in this way get illusioned or covered by the illusory energy. That is the tendency of minute spiritual living entities. If the minute individual living entities, ourselves, if we choose to go away from the supreme individual living entity, Supreme Lord Krishna, then we get covered into the illusion of this material energy, and in this way we get different kinds of material bodies to suffer again and again. But when the minute spiritual spark living entities, when they are again inspired through some means to again rejoin the spiritual whole, the Supreme Lord, then again it can reawaken his qualities, spiritual qualities, just like a spark. So there is a big fire, and there are many sparks. So if a spark goes away from the fire, it is away from the fire, then immediately the spark will be extinguished either by air or by water. But if the spark is till the time the spark is connected with the big fire, the spark retains its quality of fieriness, heat and light. The fiery qualities are there, present there in a spark till the time the spark is connected with the big fire. Similarly, the individual spiritual spark, living entities, we, the living entities, till the time we are in connection with the Supreme Lord Krishna, we are connected with Him. So till that time, we can exhibit our spiritual qualities, and in this way, we will remain away from Maya, all kinds of Maya and all kinds of suffering condition. But as soon as we decide that we want to become individual, independent controller or independent spiritual spark, and leave aside the association of the supreme spiritual being, then immediately Maya covers us and we become entangled in the activities of material world and enjoying and suffering in multiple ways by accepting millions of bodies again and again and getting entangled in the cycle of birth and death. In the Varaha Puran, the living entities are described as separated parts and parcels of the Supreme. In the Varaha Puran also, the living entities are explained as parts and parcels of the Supreme. In Bhagavad Gita 16th chapter, Krishna says that Mamaivaamshu Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanat. The same thing is explained in Varaha Purana also. So they are eternally so, according to the Bhagavad Gita. So even after being liberated from illusion, the living entity remains a separate identity, as is evident from the teachings of the Lord to Arjuna. So Arjuna became liberated by the knowledge received from Krishna, but he never became one with Krishna. So Arjuna, even after hearing Bhagavad Gita, he got liberated. But he did not become one with the Supreme Lord Krishna. He did not merge with Krishna. He remained as the individual uh, associate of the Lord. He retained his individuality. Because that is explained in Bhagavad Gita, in Varaha Purana also. Mamaivamsa Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatan. We are Sanatan Amsham. Sanatan, eternally we are parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. Okay. So thank you very much. With this, we'll stop. If you have any questions, you can ask. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhu, if the soul is unaffected by any ways like cuts, burns, and washing off such a way, then why we feel affected by any of a small cut or burn? Why this pain generate? Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Soul is unaffected, but the body is affected. So because we are identifying ourselves with this material body, that's why we are experiencing pains and pleasures. So till the time soul is within this material body, so he has this false ego, misconception of misidentifying with this body. Till that time, we have to experience. But as soon as we become separate from this false identification and we develop our real identification as the eternal servant, parts and parcels of Krishna, and as soon as we leave this body, we are no more entangled in any more material body, then we can live eternally with our spiritual body. And there is no such experience of pains and pleasure because that eternal body remains as it is. Yes, we can remain unaffected by such pains and pleasures by rigidly following the principles mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita.
What? By what following? Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Following the teachings of Bhagavad Gita properly understanding our real constitutional position being the servant of Supreme Lord, being separate. We are separate from this material body and mind. If we are fixed up in this concept, this principle, and we work on the platform of the spirit soul, then we can remain unaffected even in this while living within this material body.
These perform such activities like those were unaffected. So they are doing the same, like they are
No,
trying to
not same.
uplift them. Hare
Mechanical.
Krishna.
That is mechanical way of trying to become free from dualities. So that also helps in ultimate sense, but we do not require to perform such thing because we cannot do that. This is to be very frank. We have no qualification. We have no time. No, our mind and senses are not so controlled. Our bodily difficulties we cannot tolerate. We cannot become a yogi, Ashtanga yoga. So that is a rejected option. The only option is that we change our consciousness. We become fully fixed up as eternal servant of Krishna and engage in his service throughout our life. At the end of this very life, we can become completely free from all kinds of material bodies and become situated in our own original spiritual body. And in this way, we can become completely free from all kinds of material pains and pleasures. Okay. Yes, last question.
Dhruv Maharaj did tapasya where he reduces her, means he was doing the tapa and was reduces to no hunger and living on the air
That
only.
was
So it's
Maharaj, not possible for us. That was in Satyuga. Again, I told. So we cannot actually try to do something, any kind of mechanical yoga process by which we can become free from hunger, thirst, and pains and pleasure. That's not possible. That is very long and very tedious, very difficult process. It's not possible in this age. Those who are trying, attempting to do this, they are unsuccessful. That's why I'm again and again telling the only best method is to become fully Krishna conscious. This is the shortest, simplest, and sure short process by which we can automatically, without externally, without endeavoring to become free from material conditioning, you will automatically become free from all these material conditions. No more hunger, no more sleeping, no more eating. And even if it is not done, that then also no loss, because the ultimate purpose is not to become free from eating, sleeping, all these things, material necessities. That is not the ultimate purpose. The ultimate purpose is to develop love for Supreme Lord Krishna. And if we can develop complete love for Krishna, then we become free from entanglement. And even if we become yogi and we do not develop love for Krishna, then what is the use? One yogi may he may have overcome this eating, sleeping, hunger. But what is the use? He will transfer himself to Siddhaloka and Brahmaloka. Without eating, sleeping, he will simply sit there and just go on meditating for many millions and trillions of years. And eventually, after all, he has to go to Vaikuntha Loka. So better to choose direct path. That is intelligent.
True, but Maya somehow interfere na in this way. Like we go for hunger towards Maya, we go for other things for Maya. So it interrupts in bhakti a lot.
No, there is no interruption. If we feel hungry, we should eat Mahaprasadam. That is also part of bhakti. As we advance, this eating, sleeping, all these things are reduced gradually, automatically. Separately, if we try to do this, that will only impact our health condition, and that will impact our spiritual sadhana. So these things should be accepted in a natural way. Naturally, when you become free from hunger and all these things, then that is the natural process. We should not artificially adopt this.